Oh boy. Oh man, this show, man, this fucking show. Oh man, before I say anything in regards to the show for Monday Night Raw, hey, it's his anniversary, okay? 4 years in Los Ingobernables. Remember that. And debuted 13 years ago. Naito. Just know that shit. Look it up. May 27th. That's a very important day in history. Yes, just want to say that real quick. But Monday Night Raw. Oh boy. Should I say war has been declared? Like I said on Saturday. Should I say the shots are being thrown everywhere? Should I say, as I know people are going, and I know this is going to happen, we know this show was bad, especially in the first hour, and, well, overall, if you wanted to just say in general, but watch. I want you all to watch as soon as this show is ended for Monday Night Raw tonight. You know there are people that are going to say that, oh, it was a holiday. They didn't have to try. It was a holiday. It was a holiday, so we had to do some silly stuff. It was a holiday, so nobody was watching. So I can tell you that is going to happen. Watch, because right now I have painted in this thing in my head like I have painted many times before in multiple years. Every time there's some type of holiday show with a day off, people, they're not going to try to do anything. Number one, for Monday Night Raw, probably mostly Raw. And two, we know the ratings are probably going to go down this week. And then somehow, mysteriously, the ratings will go back up next week. Just watch. It's going to happen. I've said that before. It looks like every time they have a bad show, it's like 1 week the ratings go down, then somehow they somewhat kind of rise up a little. But watch when the ratings go down. They're going to say blame on the holiday. And watch people say it too. Oh, blame on the holiday. It was a holiday edition show. No one was watching. It was a holiday edition. Which, you think they would try to put on a good show tonight after what happened last Saturday at Double or Nothing, but I don't even want to say that, AEW is not on their radar, which it clearly is after the shots have been taken tonight. But, watch some people on the internet make excuses, which I already know is going to happen. You already know they're going to blame it on the holiday, so just watch. Watch what happened, because it's Memorial Day and they think people aren't watching the show on Memorial Day. So do not be surprised when I'm saying all of this right now, because it's going to come. Watch. I've seen this many times in the past. If it's some type of holiday, like 4th of July on a Monday, or Christmas edition, or I don't know, whatever holiday that falls on a Monday, like today of Memorial Day, or maybe Labor Day, or whatever thing, they do not try. And they're going to say, oh, it's a holiday edition. Nobody wasn't watching Monday Night Raw. So they didn't have to try out there. So I know I've said it a couple times now, but I'm just making sure you hear that. I'm reiterating that for you. I'm saying that for a reason. But just watch. But this show, oh God, of course they did a video package for Memorial Day. Which fans chanted USA. So they did for veterans and everything in the military. But we first kicked off the show, was it Kansas City, Missouri, Monday Night Raw. Kofi Kingston, wild card, that's why he's here, as they played what happened last Tuesday with Ziggler attacking him. And as Kingston said, Kevin Owens attacked Big E and he's had an injured knee. And Ziggler tried to end him, but he did not finish the job. Kingston, pretty much said he's going to deal with Ziggler when the time is right. But right now, he was focused on Raw, especially Mr. Money in the Bank, saying he's a fighting champion, and he wants to be considered one of the greatest WWE champions of all time. So what better way not to think about is beat Brock Lesnar. As Kingston called him out, Seth Rollins came out with his Universal title. Pretty much says he wanted Lesnar. And he wanted him to make the decision right now with his Money in the Bank contract, since that was going to be the thing tonight. But next thing you know, Brock came out, but his music changed, and Boombox Brock came out, folks. The Mr. Boombox, like I said last week, now it's almost like a new gimmick for him, which he had like a sick, like some type of sick beat to it, and he had a T-shirt that said Brock Party, and even the Money in the Bank briefcase paint on the back of it. You could see like the speakers to the boombox, and he's just out there just doing this, and he's then New Day's music hits. He's doing like the Running Man and just dancing to, which even I know Brock doesn't even listen to any type of music like that for hip hop, because I've seen him in many interviews before with Brock's music preferences before, but him just doing that dance and doing the New Day's music, and then they cut the Seth Rollins music, and then Heyman goes, he's got like the guitar and stuff, and Lesnar tells him to stop. Okay, I don't care what anybody says. I know I'm gonna get some heat for this, because it got so crazy that Seth just threw his mic down and left, saying I'm not dealing with this. But I will admit, I may get heat for this, but I thought that shit was hilarious. I like Boombox Brock. That was funny. I don't care what anyone's about to say to me about that. That shit was funny. Okay, the boombox, the beat to him dancing, and then dancing to Kofi and Seth's music. Hey, it's better than Suplex City, Brock. This Brock actually shows some character for once in a while. It was kind of entertaining. I know people are gonna crap on it, but I thought that was funny. I thought that was hilarious. I love it. I tell you. I want to see that every week. I want to see that every time he comes out on TV before he cashes that thing out. I want to see more Boombox Brock. I want to see him come out and dance. I think that shit's hilarious. I don't give a fuck, okay? That's funny to me. Y'all better recognize that. But since Seth left in, pretty much Heyman said that, since just like Lesnar wants to appear on everyone's parade, he said that Lesnar is going to reveal who he's going to cash in on, and that Rollins has ruined the Brock party. Not the Block party, the Brock party. Love it. He even got dude had a t-shirt hoodie coming on with that. And Heyman pretty much told Kingston not to blame him and Lesnar, blame Rollins, which they pretty much ended up leaving. Next thing you know, Dolph Ziggler came and attacked from behind, pretty much knocking Kingston to the ground, hit him with a zigzag on the entrance. He pretty much tried to grab the chair, but Woods came out then and got the save then after that. So they kind of went to commercial as both of them were brawling then. Pretty much when they kind of came back on the TV, they were still fighting, which there was a referee following them, so it never was a match, surprisingly. It was just one referee just following them around, fighting in the crowd. I saw Woods throw a trash can, which hit the cameraman at one point, but when they kept brawling all over the place, Ziggler had the upper hand on Woods, which I think Ziggler had a cut on his face, everything, so he was beat up a little if you kind of look closely. And he pretty much hit Woods with a chair, and he put Woods' head in a chair, but Kofi came out with a chair on his own, pretty much saving Woods then. Pretty much then, right after the next commercial then, Dolph Ziggler came out and talked about Kofi Kingston, which I actually thought this wasn't that bad of a promo, saying that Woods been spending all his time Kofi's been spending all his time worried about Lesnar, which you should be worrying about me defending that title with Super Showdown. You can celebrate like you for, because for about 11 days left, because I'm going to take the WWE Championship away from you. And he said that Kingston is the best WWE champion he can remember. I don't know if I agree with that whole statement, but he said that he says it should have been me. It should have been me. Ziggler pretty much says he admired Kingston, and you had two friends watching your back all the time. Two friends, and he said that I defend you against the whole B+ player thing, and I've supported you before. And even it should have, but he kept saying it should have been me. It should have been me at WrestleMania. It should be me that should be the WWE champion. It's going to happen at Super Showdown. So it wasn't a bad promo, I will say that. Next thing you know, pretty much after Ziggler's promo wasn't bad. Usos, I guess they were having their own party in the back. The Usos block party for Memorial Day. Which there was mostly, I saw a lot of jobbers. Of course, they gave a shout out to Natalya. It is her birthday today, so happy birthday. And as they were partying, EC3, who just sat there I remember this just drinking anything, who looked depressed, wondering if he will ever get out of his contract maybe and go to another company, which I'm sure insert AEW joke here. But they are literally not doing nothing with EC3, okay? They've done nothing with him. Shane McMahon was coming out then as he had a surprise tonight for Raw. McIntyre was with him. And let me remind you, we are in the first 45 minutes of this show, and there has not been one wrestling match yet in the first 45 minutes, but we get a Shane McMahon promo coming out there with his best in the world thing, and that he is, he talked about Roman's family from all the Samoans, that mostly anybody that Samoan is related, Rock, Wild Samoans, and Yokozuna, and Head Shrinkers, I believe, Usos, High Chief Peter Maivia, which as Shane continues to talk and everything that he's going to fight, I guess a cousin of his, the fans, you can now start hearing "This is boring" chants, faint ones, and AEW chants. So, I tell you, man, war has been declared, and they proved that last Saturday. The shots was being fired, folks, and AEW was throwing hella shots on Saturday. Well, then again, they've been throwing shots on being the elite, but they've been throwing lots of shots since last Saturday. Which Shane McMahon, which I should even add to 50 minutes. Well, you get 45 minutes of no wrestling and mostly promo time and Boombox Brock, which I'm giving that a pass because that was hilarious. To now Shane McMahon versus Lance Anoa'i, a cousin of Roman's, I believe. I don't really know him. Technically I've seen him on MLW, to be honest. I have seen this guy on MLW, and pretty much McIntyre beat him up throughout most of the match, which Shane did his punches and everything, of course, which, Lance he did come back with something, but Shane pretty much ended up putting him in like a triangle choke or something for the win. He kept holding on him, and pretty much he told McIntyre to get in and get him some more, which Roman Reigns came out, took out McIntyre, Superman punch on Shane, pretty much sending them both to the back as they were pretty much getting out of here. And they'll probably do something on tomorrow night on SmackDown. But first off, why did we need Shane McMahon? First off, why was Shane McMahon having a match on Raw? Why was this the first match on Raw? So you got 45 minutes of no wrestling and a squash match pretty much. And you see the fans are chanting AEW and this is boring. So pretty much in literally the entire first hour of Monday Night Raw was literal garbage pretty much, if you want to go on that note. Which I have had nearly several people on my phone tonight come and tell me that too. This show is trash. This show is horrible. Garbage, okay? Which I know people that they just got to the point where they tapped out. And I'm sure many people are just say they are sick of this. And listen, I'm sure they had more fun last Saturday and everything with AEW. But yes, an entire hour of Raw of no wrestling. But Boombox Brock was funny, though. That was funny. But what happens next? Second hour of Raw, Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman in the back. Wish I would have seen another Boombox dance, but that ain't happening. As Heyman was out there, and he had the contract to the Money in the Bank briefcase, which Heyman held it up, and he was about to read it till Seth Rollins came out. Lesnar started laughing. Rollins pretty much says, "You're making a mockery of this situation. And I stomped your head at WrestleMania, and I could do it again right now. You're once the most feared man in combat sports history, and now you're just a joke that hides behind Heyman." And pretty much he told Lesnar, "Why don't you prove wrong and cash it in right now? Cash it. He kept telling him. Heyman was reading the contract until Lesnar stopped him, and he says, like, I got a year to cash this in. And I'm sitting like, and I have a year to cash this in. And he says, yeah, you have a year. Which he pretty much slapped Heyman with the contract. And Heyman says, you didn't know. And I think he said something censored. And he said, I got a whole year. So I don't need to make that decision now. Screw you, Seth Rollins. I'm out of here. Which I can honestly believe that he does not know about Money in the Bank because he does not watch the show, which we all know that. So I almost believe that was a shoot for a second, or maybe it was a work, but I can honestly believe that was a shoot, because, like, wait a minute. I don't have to cash in right now. I can wait a year. I don't have to beat him right now. I can just keep playing this up until a year is almost up. So I can just walk around with this thing. You ain't know that? You big cashed in. Like I said, he don't watch the show. So should I say it's his fault? Not really. He don't watch the damn show. He don't watch Raw. He's just come to do what he's told. So like, hey, you know what? I got a year. I'm not going to cash in. I'm going to just keep toying with you until I feel like it, okay? It's all about the mind game style like everyone else has done with Money in the Bank. So, yeah, I thought it was funny. He slapped Heyman with it, though. Like, whoa. I can wait on this. That's going to be the thing. We going to wait on this. So, at least he's, I had heard rumors this whole thing was going to be cashed in at what was it gonna be, Super Showdown. I'm kind of glad that's not happening, and it'll be a later date when that happens. But whenever that cash in happens, it'll happen. But pretty much then after, they kind of went back to the with the block party again, which Tamina was actually back. Which her and I think Usos and Naomi, well they're all family pretty much and everything, because you remember Tamina was part of with Naomi and that whole Team Bad thing with Sasha Banks. Still ain't seen her yet, but they are technically related. Well, Naomi's married into the family, so but they are related though. So yeah, they are part of Block Party, and the Revival showed up then. Which Naomi wanted them, hey, let's just play it cool. It's a party. We gonna have some fun, okay? So this block party is continuing to happen tonight. And might I remind you, after the entire Heyman segment and stuff, we kind of went back to R-Truth and Carmella running around with the 24/7 title, which it wasn't even the third hour of Raw yet, so it can't even be defended. So the fake hardcore title belt, which he's being chased by multiple jobbers of Eric Young, who has a new tattoo on his back, Rockstar Spud, EC3, Mojo Rawley, and the chase is on. So the job guys continue to chase the belt. AJ Styles, who's supposed to be in a fatal 4-way tonight, is not in due to medically not being clear, which they interviewed him, saying he felt a pop in his lower back since Money in the Bank. So he wanted to do this. He wanted to be in the match, but it's not going to happen. Next thing you know, Corbin comes in and attacks him. So, feud right there. Becky Lynch came out pretty much tagging with Nikki Cross to go against the Iconics, who had a jobber's entrance, and they are the women's tag team champions, might I remind you. But Becky and Nikki Cross won, which Becky's new finisher, which was literally a rock bottom, which did not look good too, which they called it the Manhandle Slam. You could have just called it the Becky Bottom. It was literally a rock bottom, okay? That's what it literally was. And it looked bad too. It was not a good move, and it just looked horrible. But it's called the Manhandle Slam. We'll do a Pump Handle Slam then, if you're going to call it that. Don't do a rock bottom. Call it the damn Becky Bottom then, if we was going to go on that note. Bad looking finish. Lacey Evans, of course, got to do the walking around thing, taunting Becky and then walking back. Now, the good match we get in the second hour of this show, this is where I will say the show somewhat ended up a little bit better than the first hour. Ricochet and Cesaro, who put out a very good match out there, I will say, for almost 10 minutes, and it was good. I liked it. Ricochet hit a freaking code red or Canadian Destroyer for a near fall. And I did like when Cesaro threw Ricochet out the ring, he comes back and does a handstand all the way up to the ropes from the outside of the rings to flip that into a Frankensteiner and hit him just like a crazy Hurricane Rana pin move for the win. That looked cool, okay? And I liked what Cesaro hit him with a crazy uppercut at one point on Ricochet on the top rope. This was a great match. That, I will say that for TV. Yeah, it's 50-50 booking. I'll go on from that, but it was a really good match, and I enjoyed that. So, I'm sure the rubber match will be next week. Hey, give them another 10 minutes out there if necessary. Give them a 15, 16-minute match, and they'll put on something great. And the crowd was actually with it, too. So, I did enjoy that, okay? That is something I enjoyed. They talked about the Rey Mysterio and Samoa Joe situation, which Samoa Joe came out in his gear and pretty much went to the broadcast team saying that Mysterio is doing the right thing by relinquishing the U.S. title, and he'll be waiting to take it back what's rightfully his, which pretty much that's the last time we see Samoa Joe then, because he didn't really do nothing else after that, even though he was in his gear. Next, well, of course, we had the Fatal 4-Way. What I should say, the Usos and Revival were playing, what's that game when y'all throw the beanbag into like that? I never know that. I played this game before. They were playing in the back tonight during that block party thing, but I don't remember what they were playing. I forget the name of the game. You throw the beanbag into the hole or something. Please, someone give me the name of that. I don't know. But yeah, the block party continues with the Usos, or some are saying Bullet Club block party, or whatever you want to go with. So there you go. There were some promos for the Fatal 4-Way with The Miz, which, of course, he mentioned that he's having another kid. I think it's a girl this time. Girl again, Braun Strowman, Bobby Lashley, and Baron Corbin for a Fatal 4-Way match, which I don't know how any of these guys deserve a shot at the Universal title, to be honest, any of them. Logically, I would have went with Bobby Lashley, but it's kind of hard to say Bobby Lashley and Braun Strowman was not going to win to begin with, because they mentioned they have a match at Super Showdown, so that obviously gives away the finish when you think about it, knowing they're not going to win. Might I remind you, this is supposed to be a Fatal 4-Way elimination match. First off, I actually didn't think this match was that bad, to be honest, other than the rules being dumb, because it ended up with Lashley and Strowman fighting their way out of the the arena pretty much. But like I said, I didn't think it was a bad match. There was actually some good shit in this match, so I'm not gonna sit here and say it sucked all the way. But if it's an elimination match, which we know Fatal 4-Ways have no DQ and other things anyways, we can't say it could have been by count out, but they ended up leaving, and pretty much Miz was going after Corbin then, doing the yes kicks, running back and forth on him into the turnbuckle, which Corbin caught him and hit it with the end of days. I actually thought that was pretty cool. But the super push of Baron Corbin continues. What do they see in this man? I will never know what they see in him, but they must love this guy for some reason. They must think he is the greatest heat magnet or something, that he is getting a title shot in Saudi Arabia. Doesn't really matter because it's Saudi Arabia, but still, then again, I keep hearing there was advertisements for him to face Seth Rollins at I don't know, I think Extreme Rules last time I checked, but hey, Saudi Arabia, folks, Saudi freaking Arabia, blood money. But yes, we're giving him we're giving Corbin a title shot though. Okay. But like I said, it made no sense. You could just call it a regular Fatal 4-Way now that I think about it, because if it's an elimination match, who was technically eliminated? There was one fall, so I guess we're going by that. But hey, WWE changes these things on the fly all the time, so whatever. Usos pretty much were still doing the block party. I guess one of the Revival blocked the whole shot thing with the beanbag, which they started arguing with each other. Like I said, these guys had a very good match last week, but now they are playing this game, which we all think they're cool now. Truth shows up saying nobody didn't see me. Multiple people like the Club and EC3 continue to fight for the title. At least it was in the third hour this time, but they end up chasing him, running away, so blah. This week's Firefly Funhouse, one of the best things on this show tonight, with Wyatt having a paper plate with like the scary face he draw on a paper plate, and then him smiling, saying, people are like, oh, you all got to know my secret. I knew you would. Wyatt pretty much said, it's hard to be confident and brave when you're all alone, but when he does this with the scary part of it, he's anything he wants to be. Abby the Witch then pretty much said that, I hope you're not talking about this again, man. I'm tired of this, all right? And I need a doctor right now because you're a sicko. Which, Wyatt had a doctor's coat on, and he says his diagnosis for Abby Witch is, you're a bully. And he says, and she pretty much went on to say that, I'm not gonna rest, I'm tired of being in limbo, man. I want out this thing. Get me out of here. Which, limbo, huh? You'll never rest. Because, did someone say limbo? Which these kids started holding a limbo, how you play limbo with the pole and everything, and, you gotta limbo your way out. Which, of course, he did his spider walk thing. Because all you have to do is let me in, folks. let me in. So the I will say they are pushing this Wyatt thing very well. I'll give them one good thing about it. The promos have been fun. I don't know when he's debuting, but the Firefly Funhouse continues to be better every week. Sami Zayn, who had this electric chair out for an interview, which I thought we were about to see a live execution on Monday Night Raw or live murder, but we start talking to these planted fans for questions, which some dude asked them, what did they ask them? Because they I don't know, what is with these planted fans? Because they had a question like, when's your retirement date? And he says, are your mother and father still related? Kansas City, Missouri, blah, blah, blah. Of course, Hicktown. Next, some fan asked him, do you miss the Ginger Snaps team? Which him and Becky Lynch were a tag team on the Mixed Match Challenge. And, you want to ask me about Becky Lynch, huh? And then she said, duh, which the crowd actually found that funny. Well, why don't you ask, or she don't want to know about Seth Rollins. So, another shot. We got to take a shot at that, folks. What is this, 2 weeks in a row they've mentioned that he's hitting that again. we got to mention that. And then one fan, they asked, how's it feel when Braun Strowman destroys you? How'd it feel if I punch you in the face? But then he talked about how America's healthcare sucks and, his healthcare is better and everything. Like, why don't you ask me about my love life or if I'm a good kisser or something? And, dude, I don't need to know whoever the fuck you fucking right now. I don't need to know that. Pretty much then some other guy saying, why haven't you won the Universal title yet? And Zayn pretty much said, he could have won it whenever he wants, but he's not right now. You could have asked me anything. You could have, even including AEW, you could have asked me. Which, of course, fans chant AEW. So, the shots continue. Now, I will say this. This can either be a shoot, free publicity WWE is giving them, or Vince knows what's going on, which we've said this before about Sami Zayn pretty much being a speaker for creative and Vince in the back to tell how the fans really feel. So I think they know about AEW, so we're going to take a shot at AEW. I don't know if this was a shoot. I don't know if... I think they know. They do know. I just think WWE probably put on a bad show on purpose, because I know people have been saying all weekend, how is WWE going to top this? How are they going to counter this? And even I had to agree at one point a little, because I remember reading something on Twitter, like, maybe WWE is just putting on a bad show on purpose because they don't really care what AEW is doing right now, and they're not worried. Oh, they'll get worried, but I feel like they may, and I may be a prediction on this, they're not going to try to step up until maybe they get that TV show. Once AEW has a TV deal, but once they become live on TV, then they're going to put all out their great stuff. Or maybe they are right now, but I see WWE is now a retaliation to AEW with Sami Zayn saying, you could have mentioned AEW. So they know. They know what AEW is. I'm sure they were watching on Saturday. Those WWE officials were watching. Listen, you had half the roster comment on AEW last Saturday night, okay? You know how many people on Twitter I saw mentioning the show throughout half the night? Or even other wrestlers from other different companies? Hell, Okada even mentioned it tonight and everything. I'm surprised they haven't taken any shots at Dean Ambrose there, being AEW and also New Japan Pro Wrestling, if you don't know about that today, going against Juice. But that'll be saved for a later date when that match happens. But, I don't know if it's pre-publicity. I don't know if it's a shoot. Oh, but they know something. They know what AEW is, folks. They definitely know what AEW is. So, I may sound crazy saying the war has been declared, and you may say there is no war, but shots is being fired, folks, even though AEW has already sent several shots. But now we have retaliation. Even I believe the Bucks even responded tonight, if I'm not mistaken. I remember they had a picture up with Sami Zayn when he was on Being the Elite as a cameo. So could Sami done this as a shoot to get out of his contract to go over there, or what was this strategically planned by WWE to in retaliation? Personally, I think this may have been strategically planned, but hey, I don't know. We don't know what could happen, so we'll see from that. Which pretty much ended up with Seth Rollins coming out then and throwing the electric chair to the ground, which was actually a good main event in the end. I will say that. Everything got a little bit darker then with the lights, but that wasn't a bad match in the main event. About 20 minutes out there. Seth pretty much ended off saying, "This is my life," before hitting the curb stomp on Sami Zayn in the end. So I did like the main event. That was actually a pretty good match. So I'm not going to discredit those two on that with Seth versus Sami Zayn. And, of course, they had Brock Lesnar sit around all night watching, I guess, what was going on. Which I didn't think was going to be a cash-in anyways, but it does tease it when you look at it. But just looking at Monday Night Raw tonight, number one, just to give some quick bullet points on this damn show. Number one, the first hour sucked. There was no wrestling. Pretty much, literally the entire first hour, you get a squash match on Shane McMahon versus one of Roman's cousins. Most of it was talking throughout the entire first hour, but Boombox Brock was funny, so I thought that was actually hilarious. That's what you got to see, him playing with the briefcase. That was actually hilarious. But between that, talking, promo, Ziggler, a brawl, which we thought was a match, like I said, Shane McMahon. Yeah, first hour really sucked, okay? But throughout the rest of the show, other than the block party with the Usos and stuff, I will say I did enjoy Ricochet and Cesaro. That was a really good match. That was a very enjoyable match. Even in the third hour with Sami Zayn and, Seth Rollins, too. The women's tag match, I couldn't care less about the Iconics, and I still think that Manhandle Slam looked like a rock bottom in general. Of course, AEW shots tonight. We already know about that, so say what you want, but the shots being fired, and war may have been declared right there if you want to go from that. What else? Firefly Funhouse, liked it. Thought it was great. So they continue to get better with the Firefly thing. When's Wyatt debuting? I don't know, but we will find out sooner or later. Other than that, that's just Raw for you. Like I said, Memorial Day, whatever. I'm sure fans are already gonna say, "Oh, it's Memorial Day." We can't really say nothing bad about it, but like I said, this first hour of the show is just bad. Okay, it was just number talk. You could have called it the hype package hour or something, or promo package hour. But does Raw continue to suck? A majority of it, yes. Did I find some good parts of it? Yeah, in the past, at least near the last hour and 30 minutes, which I will admit the Fatal 4-Way wasn't bad also, but something told me old Constable Corbin there was going to win. Wasn't a bad match, but hey, we got to give him a title shot. They love this guy, man. I'm telling you, they must think Corbin is the man or some shit. I don't see it, but they must think he's the greatest heat magnet or whatever they see in Corbin. I have no freaking clue. But overall, yeah, that's my review. I'm going to go from here. Hope you had a great holiday or whatever and everything. But we all know what the highlight of this entire 3-day weekend was. I don't need to say it anymore. Double or Nothing. Make sure you check out my review for Double or Nothing. So please check that out whenever anybody gets the chance. Just go to the channel right now, subscribe, comment. Hey, I even left a link on Twitter. Instead of watching the first hour of Raw, why don't you check an entire hour of my AEW Double or Nothing review, folks? Okay, that's something you may want to check out. All right, but other than that, like I said, I'm out of here. Of course, even gotta also mention, hey, anniversary, whatever you want to go with this. I gotta say, I do enjoy these micro brawlers though. For some reason, they very great to set around whatever you want. I'm kind of glad I bought one of these things now. But yeah, I'm out of here. I will see you guys later. Peace out. Comment, subscribe. You know what the deal is. Whatever you want to tell me about Monday Night Raw, tell me what you think. I'm out. I'm going to play some Red Dead Redemption 2. Peace.